All right, today we're going to roll and stretch the hamstrings, also known as the bicep femoris. Those guys run from kind of the back and knee region here, if you think, all the way up to just under the glutes. Tightness in hamstrings is usually always associated with lower back pain. So if you have lower back pain, you probably have some tightness in the hamstrings. And of course, tight hamstrings means you definitely have some weakness in the glutes. We'll get into that later. So let's go into how we would foam roll and stretch the hamstrings. We'll start with our foam roller. As always, as we say, doing one at a time. We do not want to be sitting here doing two. I see people doing this all the time. Again, you're helping, you're doing something, but you are not getting to the adhesions and knots, which is the whole point of foam rolling. So we're on the foam roller here. We start kind of back in the knee region. Slowly go through. Again, looking for that adhesion knot. Say this is not feeling much, not too difficult. We're going to lift our body up to create more pressure. Rolling through. And the idea is we hold that pressure 30 seconds to a minute minimum, trying to release that adhesion. So depending on your fitness level and how much you foam roll, I often see people that really don't feel this very intense as opposed to like the leg, the quad, because all your weight is on it, so you're really pushing through. It's a little bit harder to really feel the intensity with a foam roller. So for most people, I have found in a seated position using a tennis ball, a cross ball, baseball, depending on the intensity you can take. So let's do that. This is also great because if you're not mobile enough to get on the ground, another one you can do in a seated position. So we'll do a tennis ball today. Just like there, we kind of start in the back of the knee, kind of just roll through, kind of slowly looking. Ideally, you want to go inch by inch, really going through it and checking. So right away, there I feel it. So we could just kind of hold this, breathing, trying to relax. Again, I feel way more intensity here than I do there. Say you know it's there, but it's not very intense, you can kind of lean into it, almost putting weight down. Say, also, yeah, if you feel the movement going to like the knee, you feel some pressure going to the hip, these are all good things. Feeling that pressure move and radiate is a clear indicator that that area is tight. Very often, some people describe some pain kind of in the glute region. It's actually the hamstring down here. It's just the hamstring attaches up there. So they feel the pain here. In reality, it could be more by the knee, it could be in the middle. And that's where, again, taking the time, holding it, not just rolling back and forth, releasing that area. If that's still not enough, we can do something called an active release technique, where we would then find that area, we then pull, forcing a stretch. Way more intense there. Holding that adhesion, forcing a stretch. There is no necessarily time or reps for this one. It's kind of however many you can do. The second you feel that tensing up again, back off. If you're just tensing, you're doing this, you're not doing anything. You're actually causing more problems at that point because you're tensing up other muscles. The whole point of rolling is relax and feel those adhesions. Lessen, you break up the knots so you can then get a better stretch. So we've got the foam roll on the ground, tennis ball, and also an active release. So next, let's go over a few, probably 2 or 3 stretches for those hamstrings and which one will work the best for you. All right, moving on to stretching them. We'll go over a few different positions and end with what I think is probably the best. So a common one you probably see, and you remember doing this all the time, is just bring that leg up on a bench, a table or something. If you have the stability in your stomach and the ability to hold your cylinder in place and create a stretch, more power to you. That's awesome, you can do this. If you feel wobbly or a little off or sliding or anything, you are not relaxing enough to create that stretch. So very often, if you're constantly trying to find your balance to do it, this is not for you. So, common one then you see is the straight-legged down. A little bit more stability. That's great. Again, you're doing both. Ideally, we want to do one at a time. Often you'll see that then it's rounding. So you're like, oh, I can touch my toes. I can stretch. Well, I'm not really feeling my hamstrings. I'm just rounding my back. I'm not really getting that much of a stretch. If you can hold those legs, not hyperextended, but straight, keeping that back flat, then I'm a little more impressed the lower you can go. But again, are we feeling both stretches, or are we worried about not tightening up? So tightness in the hamstrings, I'm going to go with one on the ground. Is the most beneficial for most people again, and doing one at a time. Remember those sit and reach back in high school, or grade school I should say? It was a dumb stretch. If you're just reaching to do it, again, it's not showing any stretch. It's just showing how far you can move your body around to get to it. So one at a time is the best way. So we bring this right foot in, left is straight. We're keeping our chest over that left, and then dropping down into it. If you feel like you're not feeling a big stretch very often, you might be feeling that you're compensating and turning the foot away. Turn that foot in tight, fall into it, not leaning, chest up if you can. Remember, 30 seconds to a minute, holding this stretch and feeling that area loosen up. Bouncing, there's a time and place for that, not here. Static stretching. Hold it, breathe into that. And that is how I found the best way to foam roll and stretch your hamstrings. Please like and subscribe, guys, and remember, you can fix it.